So hello and welcome back. I guess we are live and probably you can hear me if everything is set up correctly over here. And as you can see on the screen in this video, we are going to actually get the famous cryptocurrencies, but not only that, we are actually going to get coin of the day using the same open source API that we used in the last video. So we were using we were using this one. It is called LunarCrush.com, and they have an open source API that you can use, and it has all sort of endpoints that we can utilize. For now, we are using we are getting the top cryptocurrencies by market cap, which is on the right, and on the left we have the coin of the day, which is Stellar for today. And in this video, what I'm going to show you is we are going to reach this point. As you can see on the screen, we have the coin of the day on the left and famous cryptocurrencies on the right. But if you remember the last video, we did not reach here. Let me show you how our application looked in our last video. So there you go. This is how our application looks. And to be honest, the new version of our application looks much better with the coin of the day on the left and actual cryptocurrencies by market cap on the right. Now, if you're new here and if you don't know what this video is all about and what this Angular course is all about, well, I need to give you a little market cap on the right. Now, I need to give you a little brief introduction about this playlist, this course, this live videos, and why we are doing this in the first place. So let me show that to you. So we started, we were planning to do some Angular course on YouTube, but then we thought there are already so many pre-recorded videos online, which benefit everyone, definitely, but there needs to be something where you can learn live. So we started the live course Angular videos, which we come live every week, and this is week 6 of that. And we have been discussing various things from services, dependency injection, from Bootstrap, from Angular material layout, and then routing, navigation, HTTP communication. And today we are revisiting the HTTP communication, and based on that, we are fetching the cryptocurrency with the free API, as I already told you. And if you're wondering where you can get the actual code, well, don't worry, we got you covered. This is the GitHub repository, and here we have all the weeks that you want. For example, let's say you follow us on week 7 or week 8, but you want the code that was done in week 4 or week 5 or week 6. Well, the main branch or the master branch will always have the latest code, but you want week 4 or week 5, so we got you covered. You can go here on branches and go to week 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth, so that you always get the code which you are actually interested in. Now, enough chit chat. Let's dive right into the code and let's understand what we want and how we can achieve it. So let me know if this is zoomed in enough for you, and I'll remove myself so that you can see the code in much better way. So there you go. I guess you are able to see the code in a better way now. Let me know in the chats if that is the case. Now, what we want to do is we have the dashboard component, which is basically displaying coin of the day and crypto prices. Now, first of all, I don't need this background dark and text white anymore. So first of all, I'll remove it. Let's see how our application looks. Personally, it looks a little better to me already. Now, what we want to eventually do is we want to be able to go inside coin of the day. So let's go here. And remember, I'm not very good with styling, and this is not a styling course. This is an Angular course, so I will be focusing strictly on Angular, and you can design and style your website as you like, because I'm sure you are much better with that than I am. So first of all, I'll remove everything. I don't really need that. And I want to use mat card. Now we don't really have mat card, do we? So first of all, we need to import this. So for that, I'll go to my app module and I'll import mat card module. And it's giving me some errors. So for that, I'll go to the mat card. So I am a big fan of using Angular material, and the reason for that is I don't like reinventing the wheel. I like reusing everything there is that Angular provides us, and I also like reusing a lot of libraries and CSS components, etc. That will simply make our life easier so that I can focus on building the app. So I'm using mat card component, and mat card component is really awesome because you can create things like this with very simple code, and we will go through that right now. So first of all, I want to go in coin of the day. I want to use a mat card, and I want to use mat card header. So it essentially has two components, a header and body. So mat card content, which is kind of the body. In the header, we can add a title, and we can eventually also add a subtitle. Now over here, I want my cryptocurrencies, let's say name like BTC, and over here I want Bitcoin. Right now I'm hard coding it obviously, but eventually, we will be going through API similar to what we are doing on the right hand side of our application. Now on the left, we also need some image and everything, and we will add that in a while, but don't worry about it. But what I want to do is I want to be able to now start fetching the actual data. So I'll remove these. And if you remember from our last video, if you remember from our last video, this was how we fetched market data. So over here, as you can see, we have a crypto prices service where we are getting the market data like this. So we have a private variable, we have getters and setters, and then we are basically fetching it using this API. Now we will eventually be using interceptors, but let's take step by step, and maybe we'll go through interceptors in the next session. First of all, I think I should zoom in a little more for you. So first of all, we need to create a service, right? So I'll go to my terminal and I'll use ngdc or ngds because we want to create a service, and coin of the day. So name of a service is coin of the day service. Now let's see where it goes. Okay, so it created a service over here. I actually will take it. I'll actually first of all delete the spec because we are not really testing our application over here. And I'll take this inside the folder coin of the day. Perfect. And actually I'll use the same methodology, but obviously the types would be a little different. So we have getter, setter, and everything. And here we have a private variable coin, and hence we will return the coin. Here we will set the coin. So just some basic refactoring over here. Now, what is the type of our coin? For that, we have to go to the documentation of the actual API we'll be using. So let's just search coin of the day. And all these links are already down in the description below in case you're wondering. So we want coin of the day, and this is the API endpoint that we need to go to. But more important is we need to see how it's going to look when we finally get it. So let's request, and there you go. So in the data, we have name and a symbol. So that's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. So let's just use that. So over here, I can say that I'll just have, and it won't be an array. I'll just have name, which is a string, and I'll have a symbol, which should also be a string. It's not an array, and initially it's undefined, and it's saying that type undefined is not assignable to type this. So I'm using Angular 12 and I regularly update my application, and because of that, we cannot assign undefined things to a type which is like this or any type. So for that, I need to give a question mark, which is optional type, or I can also use something like this. It's pretty much the same thing, but I'll go with the question mark because I don't like typing. And here we have get coin and set coin. Okay, that's pretty good. That's looking pretty good to me. Now, again, we can influence ourselves from the crypto prices service because here we are using HttpClient and we are fetching the market data. Over here, I can use the HttpClient as well. Import that over here. And then actually, I can just copy this and just change the endpoint, right? I think that should work. So we want to fetch coin of the day. There you go. So over here, it's no longer of type market data. It's an object of that has a name and a string value. This dot coin is equal to response data. We need to import a few things probably. Okay, there you go. And we don't really need the limit, sort, descending, etc. because again, we are fetching one coin, which is coin of the day. And the endpoint is again, coin of the day. So with that out of the way, we can actually start fetching this coin of the day into our component. And how we can do that? First of all, we need to open the TypeScript file of this component, which is coin of the day component. Now, it's very important that you understand how we did the crypto prices component, which I covered in quite a nice detail about how HTTP works in Angular, about how we can fetch that, about how we can reduce the number of API requests, how we can optimize it to the best level we can. And if you haven't seen that video, go to week 5 because this is kind of a revisiting HTTP, revisiting API communication video. It's not really going through each and every nitty-gritty or detail of our API endpoints. But no worries, we'll still see a few concepts which might really help you in the end. First of all, we need to basically import the coin of the day service. So first things first, we'll do that. Coin of the day service. There you go. We have coin of the day service imported. Now, what do we need? First of all, we need coin of the day over here. Which would be of type name string. If you remember, we just defined this type in the service, and symbol string is equal to undefined. We can still use the same logic. No need for this bracket over here, and just make it optional so that undefined is allowed. And in the end, we want to do something very similar because what we are doing over here, if you have a look, we are getting the market data from the service. If it doesn't exist, only then we want to make the API request. This avoids unnecessary API requests. So we'll do pretty much the same thing over here, and I'll go through that line by line. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the live chat if you're watching the video live, or you can ask in the comments if you're watching the video later. So the first thing is I'll do this dot coin of the day is equal to this dot coin of the day service dot coin. Right? This would go to the getter of the coin of the day service and get me the coin. But there's a chance that we don't have the coin yet. So we'll check if this coin of the day doesn't exist. So we can do that with equal null, or we can simply write not, which is pretty much the same thing. If it doesn't exist, well, now we want to make the API request, right? That's what we want to do eventually. So let's go here and let's see. First of all, we have the hard-coded strings over here. So I want to now remove them. So for that, what we need to do is we need to use string interpolation in Angular, which is pretty simple. So we'll go to coin of the day, and then we'll do symbol. Let's see what's the problem. Well, the problem over here is that we are trying to access something which might just be undefined. As you can see over here, it says object is possibly undefined. Now, how does TypeScript know that? This blows my mind because Angular 12 and TypeScript after 4 is so awesome that it helps developers avoid making bad mistakes because it knows that when we define this variable, we have allowed it to be undefined. So it's saying if you're simply just accessing these variables like this, You might have a kind of a null pointer exception if you are from Java background. So basically it wants us to first check if coin of the day exists. So I can do ng if, or over here I can either check in by ngIf, or there's even a better way. I can write question mark. That basically means if it exists, only then go to its value. So if coin of the day exists, then go to the symbol. If coin of the day exists, then go to the name. Otherwise, don't. This is a very powerful feature, and this avoids a lot of mistakes, and I really love it. So as you can see, we have nothing over here. We have an empty material card, and that means we haven't really got the coin of the day yet because we haven't made the API request. Now it should be pretty straightforward. We need to make the API request, and for that we'll be checking what we did before. So we basically just made the API request like this, and we can simply copy this, paste over here, and change it to coin of the day service, fetch coin of the day, and we need to subscribe. Until unless we subscribe, Angular will not make that HTTP request because it doesn't want to make unnecessary requests when no one is listening to them. And here we'll use this dot coin of the day is equal to pretty much the same thing. Now let's see if we have something over here. There you go. We have coin of the day, which is stellar, and we also have the symbol over here. Now this is pretty awesome. I'm really happy with how this is evolving, because now we have a coin of the day, we have top cryptocurrencies on the right, and what we can do is we can actually also add a basic image, right? And just so you know, if I go to a network tab and check, we have this request which gives us stellar. So everything is working fine over here, and it looks pretty good. A few things that I would like to change is I would like to add an image. Right now, the API website that we are using does not provide us with an image. So what we can do is we can just use an image that already exists, and it doesn't need to be dynamic. Obviously, it's your application. I'm just trying to explain how Angular works and how everything around it works. So if you want it to be dynamic and if you want more details, well, you can definitely go ahead and do that. You can find a different API endpoint or things like that. But for now, I'll just focus on Angular and not really on the CSS and the image and how it looks, but I'll just add a hard-coded image. So for that, I can use basic HTML image tag, src, and I already have an image in my mind that I copied from the internet. So I'll just paste it over here. There you go. Let's see how it looks. Well, it kind of blasted through our card, and it's kind of destroying our whole application, and we certainly don't want that. So for that, we have a directive which you can use mat card image, and that's it. If you use mat card image, it will automatically fit inside a card, and it is very dynamic. So let me show you how mobile friendly our application is. So if we decrease the size, you see it's automatically resizing based on the screen size. Now we have used mat card on the left. Why not use mat card on the right as well? So we have our, let's go over here. I also add some content, although it doesn't really matter if we add it right now or not, but I'll just add some text. The coin of the day is, there you go. So now we also have some text. We have some content as well. Although it doesn't really matter, it's your application. You can change the looks and feel however you want. But I want to change a few things, because as you can see, this over here is white. Now, I made a mistake in my last video, and it's time to improve them right now. So first of all, I can close this coin of the day component. I need to open market data. Crypto prices component, sorry. In my crypto prices component, the first thing I'll do is I'll start using a mat card. Mat card. Now you must know this already. Mat card content. Over here, I'll add the material lists. And as you can see, I'm a big fan of Angular material because, as I said, why create something that already exists? Why not use them? People have worked so hard for creating those things for us, so I prefer using them rather than reinventing the wheel. Mat card header. Let's add a title. Uh, Top cryptocurrencies. That's a good title. So we have top cryptocurrencies on the right. We have coin of the day on the left. It's looking pretty good to me. And what else can we do? We can also do a small improvement. As you saw before, we were seeing some irregularities in our crypto prices because, as you can see, I'm adding a success background class when my crypto price, when the percent change is greater than zero. I'm adding danger class when it's less than zero, but I haven't really covered what will happen if it's actually zero, because if there's no percent change from yesterday to today, for that I can just add another case. I can add background secondary, and remember we are using Bootstrap 5. And if you want to know more about it, we have a dedicated video on Bootstrap 5 on our channel. We also have video where we install Bootstrap 5 in our Angular application and start using it. So you can do all of that. And I just saw that Kritika Sharma is watching the video and she said, wow, that was amazing. That was something. Well, thank you for saying that. And I really appreciate that you're watching the video right now. As you can see now over here, if I refresh right now, because this data is dynamic, I'm not really controlling it. So now it's green because there's a percentage change. But if not, it would show in a kind of gray background color because I've used BG secondary. Anyways, moving forward, I don't really like that there is no gap between the header and our cards. So let's quickly fix that as well. Today we are on fire. We are fixing our application. And we'll just add MT2, which is margin top 2. So it will add some margin on the top. So there you go. Let's say we can add some more. That's not a problem. So now we have MT3. This is basically for margin top. If we have used M3, it would be margin top, left, right, bottom. We can use MB3, MT3, ML3, MR3. You get the idea how it works. Okay. So we have added some margin on the top. It's looking pretty good to me. What else can we improve? I think that this component, the coin of the day component, doesn't really need to be this large. So I'll also decrease the size for this. I'll say call LG4, and this would be LG8, because if you remember, Bootstrap has 12 columns, so the total has to be equal to 12. That looks better to me. So I personally really like this application. We have coin of the day on the left, top cryptocurrencies on the right. Can we do some more improvements, or should we leave them to the next lectures? That's what I'm thinking right now. Well, I think we have covered pretty good. And the only thing that's left now is we haven't really unsubscribed from any of our subscriptions. So if I go to my crypto prices component, you can see I have a subscribe, but I'm not unsubscribing. Now, this is a very important concept, and I want to cover this in a separate video. But essentially what we'll do is we'll add on destroy. We'll add the method, and we'll finally unsubscribe this subscription. For that, we'll save this subscription in the first place. We can actually save an array of subscriptions, because maybe in the future we'll have more subscriptions than what we have right now. And now, because it's an array, I can't simply do this. I need to do a push. So I'll explain a brief moment what I'm trying to do over here, but this is a very important Angular concept, and I have seen experienced programmers making this mistake and not unsubscribing to their subscriptions. And this is very important to do. So this dot subscriptions dot for each, because this is an array, and s dot unsubscribe. Now what I'm doing over here is whenever we subscribe to something, we create a data leak. And whenever this component ends, that data is still leaking and that data is still in use and Angular is still listening to changes over there. And we don't want that. We want whenever this component is destroyed, it's no longer visible. The subscription should be unsubscribed to, because otherwise there will be a lot of data leak. And if we visit our page 10 times, there will be 10 open data leaks, there will be 10 open subscriptions, and they won't be unsubscribed ever unless we do this manually. So this is one important concept. Obviously, we'll go in much more detail in the next videos, but I just wanted to explain it to you and just wanted to give you a brief overview so that before my next week's live video, you can go over this concept and learn yourself a little more on your own time. And right now we have done it on the crypto prices component, but there's another component as well, and I welcome you to do that as well. Now, as always, you will see this lectures code in week 6, which is already here, and you should be able to get pretty much the same code and you should be able to follow us. And with that said, thank you very much. It's 12 a.m. and you're still live. Thanks to you. Thanks for your love of Angular. Oh, yes. Yes, actually, it's 12 a.m. where we are right now. As you can see, 12 a.m. We are in Montreal. And yeah, I just love Angular too much. And Kritika and I both are running this channel, and we try to push out more and more content which is valuable, which should be valuable to you and to us, because we learn a lot by creating these videos, and we hope you are learning something with us as well. Thank you so much for sticking till the end of this video. And in the next video, we are going to cover much more concepts, and this Angular course is going to build more and more. And in case you are not following us on Instagram, Twitter, and other social medias, you're missing what's happening in our lives. We just bought a house. That's why everything is so it's so messed up right now. And our schedule is also messed up. But everything will be better in a few weeks or a few days, hopefully. And thank you very much again. And I hope you learned something. And until next week, bye.